Hi, I'm Mike Ridley and welcome to PowerBoat Television. Well, it's early in the morning here at Princess Louisa Inlet at the Marine Park, just right at Chatterbox Falls. Just waiting for the sun to come over the mountains here, which are quite tall, and then we're going to get set to resume our cruise on BC's Sunshine Coast. But before departing, I had to take one last walk ashore to lock in my memory the sights and sounds of this special place. The sound of Chatterbox Falls and the sun burning off the mist as it rose to light up the mountainside was worth waiting for in the cool morning air. As the sun started to touch the waters of Princess Louisa Inlet, it was time to retrace our route out to Queen's Reach and to Prince of Wales Reach. Approaching Malibu Rapids, we had some company alongside for a while. Passing through the rapids at low slack tide, the flow was minimal, calm, and we barely felt the boat shift in the current. With only a gentle breeze, the waters were calm, so this would be a very relaxing cruise and one to be savored. Interesting, the shoreline all along here. You're saying it's a great area for diving? I didn't know the diving was so popular here.
The diving industry here is huge. There's lots of classes that can be taken, weekend courses and so on, but the diving along here, this water here I think is about, you said about 900 feet deep?
Yeah, it's coming up at ranging between 800 and we're 1,156 feet right now.
Right, so where we would dive is along the wall on this channel here. It would go, the max you can go is about 150 feet. But in that 150 feet to the surface, you're gonna find sea urchins, octopus, wolf eels, sea anemones, plumose anemones, rockfish. All kinds of life lives within that first 60, 70, 80 feet.
Right. It also allowed Al and I to talk more about the area and his experiences here.
I first started when I started diving, and a buddy of mine lived down in Victoria and told me to get my diving certificate and go diving with him. So both my wife and I did that, and that went on until I became a master instructor. And then I decided we'd better have our own boat to get around. So that was about 14 years ago, 15 years ago.
So that's when the boating started.
I didn't grow up with it, being a prairie boy from Medicine Hat.
Long way to any big water.
Yeah. So if you can take a guy from Medicine Hat and put him on a boat and him learn, anybody can do it.
For the next few hours, we just had to sit back and relax. As we approached Egmont Point, where we departed from, we passed inside of Miller Island to take a look at the sea lions basking in the sun. Passing Seashell Point, we continued into Agamemnon Channel, bound for Pender Harbour. Along this channel, you will pass by Earls Cove Seashell BC Ferry Terminal serving Powell River. The channel is a wide-open scenic passage of approximately 10 nautical miles to the approach into Pender Harbour. In this area of deep waters, anchorages are scarce, but Green Bay offers cruisers a great spot to tuck back into and spend some time at anchor. As you approach the end of the channel, you can clearly spot Pearson Island. Join us later in the show as we wrap up our cruise on BC's Sunshine Coast. Welcome back. We left off just as we were arriving in Pender Harbour. As you round the point and cross the entrance to Lee Bay, you will notice the rapid appearance of homes on the shoreline. Pender Harbour is not only the water and town, it is the area name that encompasses the communities of Middle Point, Madeira Park, Francis Peninsula, Kleindale, Garden Bay, Irving's Landing, and Daniel Point. The area has multiple marinas serving every size and type of boat found on the coast. Our choice of dockage was Madeira Marina Park Harbour itself. On arrival, we made quick work of securing the meridian before setting out in the rib to explore. Pender Harbour, with its sheltered waters, back bays, and islands, is truly a boater's paradise. Being connected to Vancouver by road and ferry crossing makes the area quite accessible and popular. A destination in its own right, as well as the jumping off point for exploring the Sunshine Coast.
We're going into Gunboat Bay, which is a very narrow entrance and really should only be done in a big boat during a high tide.
Yeah, I was looking at the charts earlier, and there's not much water there.
No, not a lot. So this is the entrance to Gunboat Bay.
And if you love seafood, this is the place to come. You can start with some fresh oysters and pass on the starfish. But after chasing a few fish in the shallows of Oyster Bay, we decided that was it for touring. Pender Harbour is known as a real hot spot for diving and fishing, and with the balance of the afternoon ahead, it was time to fish. First stop back to our boat for the fishing gear loaded on by Nanaimo Yacht Charters. Heck, they even equipped us with crab traps. And with the aid of the internet, I had a fishing license and we were ready to go. As we approached the Rock Islands where we would be fishing for lingcod, we were able to witness several families of eagles engaged in training their young ones. And of course, more sea lions.
You can hand me that. This is not your typical fishing vessel.
No, it's a
Little tight, but guess what? The fish don't care. Amazing how deep it is right offshore. That's about, I would guess 50 feet.
So you let it go right to the bottom again?
Yeah, you want to bounce her off the bottom.
Finally, while these guys looked on, Al got the catch of the day.
Little tagger rockfish.
Just hooked him as he was going by the looks of it.
Oh, he probably took a strike at the hook, right?
Right. That's what I got.
Hey, that's a great fish.
Yeah. Relocating
Kelp.
relocating some kelp, roots and all.
While we did have a great day fishing, I enjoyed the cruise with Al into some of the most spectacular locations for boating that I have ever been. Want to come to BC and the Sunshine Coast? Check out Boating BC and Ahoy BC online and start making plans.
Personally sad to say that this is the end of our time on a small portion of BC's Sunshine Coast. We spent some time cruising through here in Pender Harbour and doing some local exploring. Now it's time to call it a day. If you do have the opportunity to come to British Columbia, whether it's from across Canada or from somewhere in the United States, if you can't cruise into this location, you can certainly come here as we have in PowerBoat Charter. You'll relish the experience and you will find no place like it anywhere else on Earth.